If you watch my video, it was my last video on the quick shifter on the S1000 and how good it was. There's a little demonstration on why the BMW is so much better. It's not as clean, especially on the downshifts here on the R1. The upshifts are pretty good. Pretty good, yeah. But just a little bit better on the S1000. Hope you guys are having a great day. I am, because the weather is incredible today. It was just as good yesterday, but I didn't have a chance to go ride. But today, man, 77 degrees right now, clear sunny skies. I do not see a single cloud around. But today, this weather is about as good as you could possibly get. Very little wind today, nice and sunny, warm, and it's been consistent the whole day. So I'm just wearing my normal gear today, and it feels outstanding. So a couple weeks ago, I talked about the news that Yamaha was discontinuing the R6. They made the announcement they're not going to be selling a street legal R6 anymore, ending with I guess the 2020 model. They'll still have it available as a track-only bike, but they're not going to be selling the street legal version of the R6 anymore. And so in that video, I talked a little bit about why they were making that decision and kind of what I thought was going to happen in the market. And that video got so much awesome discussion on it. You guys really were throwing in your own opinions on that, and I really appreciated that. That was really awesome to see. And some of the discussion that I saw in that video was that the 600cc class doesn't really need to exist anymore, because you can pretty much get that same experience on a liter bike now that they have, you know, all the electronics, the different modes to make it a more conservative bike. And on one front, I kind of see where that argument is, but I don't quite agree with it fully. So in today's video, I'm going to kind of talk about that. Along with some more thoughts about what I saw in the discussion on that video. By the way, if you want to see the current state of my 2020 R1 versus Dustin's 2009 R1, make sure you stick around to the end of the video. But I gotta give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Swagbucks.
Swagbucks allows you to make money, earn cash and gift cards by playing video games, taking surveys, and watching videos. And if you click my custom Swagbucks link in the description, you will earn $5 just by signing up and taking your first survey. I know you probably got some holiday shopping to do just like me, so you can put that $5 and whatever you earn towards places like Amazon, Walmart, Target. Maybe you want to snag some money to throw down on some motorcycle parts from eBay, and a bunch of other retail stores and restaurants. Sign up today by using my custom Swagbucks link, which is in the description down below, and let me know what you use your free $5 towards.
So thanks to Swagbucks for sponsoring the video. Really appreciate all the sponsors you get on the channel, and you guys for checking out the sponsors. Helps show that we made business here. So my first thought on the idea that the liter bike basically gets you what you would need out of a 600 makes the assumption that you have the experience necessary to handle everything about a liter bike. Like this. I can tell you this much. When I was a beginner rider, I remember the first ride on the streets that I ever took on my motorcycle, and I went on the highway and I did 70 miles per hour, and it was so incredible and it felt so fast. But it is true, liter bikes have modes now. So like you see it down here, A mode, that is essentially the fastest mode on Yamaha bikes. And so I can change the mode, and if I go down here, now I'm in D mode, and oh good lord, like I'm flooring it right now. I say flooring it. I'm cranking the throttle to 100%, and the bike is significantly slower. It's much more, much less sensitive to throttle input. It's got much less engine braking, so there's not as much of a jerk when you come off the throttle, and there's better traction control input. Basically, it's a rain mode, so if you're riding in the rain, you want your bike to be less sensitive to inputs so that it has a better chance of maintaining traction while you're riding. What you essentially get from that is a bike that's much more geared towards a beginner. However, that doesn't quite equate to what you get out of a 600. In my experience, a leader bike is actually a little bit easier to ride than a 600 for a beginner. I remember the first time I rode a 600, my first R6 is a 2009 R6. You can go watch the video, I'll link it down below. It was a very twitchy bike, and it's much twitchier than a leader bike if you're, you know, putting all things else equal and getting the full power out of the bike, etc. In the way a leader bike rides, it's a little bit more predictable. It's also larger, and this doesn't necessarily mean that it's better for a beginner, but if you're a bigger person, a smaller 600 doesn't quite feel as comfortable as a leader bike. But this can go quite the opposite way. If you're a smaller rider, a leader bike is going to be harder to control. Once you get moving, it's not as big of a deal. If you're really pushing the bike, you'll feel the weight, but if you're just riding normally, it won't affect you too much. Except if you're on the highway, cruising around other cars, semi-trucks, when there's a lot of wind pushing you around, a leader bike is so much more stable. So even for beginners, that weight is going to help you out. So that weight can really play to your advantage or disadvantage depending on your environment and the type of rider and size of rider that you are. But I guess my main concern with, my main challenge to that opinion of the leader bike basically offering what you would get a 600 for is that you're somehow trying to get a bike that's more conservative, and I just don't feel for one, the 600 isn't the bike that I would recommend to a beginner. Like if you're the type of person that can't handle more than a 600, you shouldn't be getting either bike to begin with. You know, I've said it before in a lot of different videos. A 600 is not a bike to start on, and I could be mistaken, but a leader bike kind of is an easier bike to start on. But I say that with the warning that I don't think anyone should be starting on a leader bike either. This change of Yamaha discontinuing the R6, of Honda discontinuing the CBR 600, whether they bring it back or not. The thing that makes me, I guess, more optimistic about this decision is that one of the big reasons that they're discontinuing it is that people are buying other bikes that are better geared towards a beginner rider, and that makes me happy. Things like the MT-07 is, in my opinion, more fun than a 600 and easier to ride for a beginner. While it does have a good amount of power, I wouldn't feel bad about recommending an MT-07 to a person who's just buying their first motorcycle. Do I think it's the absolute best motorcycle to start on? Not necessarily, but I don't think it's a bad motorcycle to start on. You know, if you're a beginner rider, you're just learning how to ride, maybe you just bought your first bike or you're looking for your first bike, I cannot stress this enough. You will have more fun, especially as you get better at riding something that is not as powerful than if you were to go out and buy a leader bike and try to get, you know, your miles per gallon out of that bike. Because for me, the greatest thing about a leader bike on the streets is that it's just a very nice bike to ride. It's comfortable. It's, you know, more akin to driving it like an M5 versus, you know, an M2. I know it's kind of weird to say that a leader bike is a luxurious bike to ride on the street, but if you're, you know, dead set on getting a sport bike on the street, a leader bike, in my opinion, is just nicer. You know, you're ringing a 600 out constantly. Granted, you'd be ringing out a 300 if you're pushing it on the highway, but if you're just going out, you know, on the weekend and romping around on a bike, it's a lot of fun to do that on a 300, on a Grom, something like that. And so you see Yamaha put out the MT-03, get the best of both worlds. You got your 300 class, and you got your naked bike, which is, you know, all the rage right now. It's a great bike. Haven't ridden it, but I've ridden an R3, and it's basically the same thing. Not really, but, you know, kind of. Go back and watch some of my first videos that I did on my Ruckus. It's a scooter, a 49cc scooter. I had so much fun on that little thing, bone stock, top speed of 40 miles an hour, or my video in Hawaii where we rode Groms and C125s around the island of Maui. So much fun. One of my most fun days I've ever had riding. And I don't think it would have been the same if we were riding heavier, faster bikes. Coming from someone who's been riding now for eight years, I promise, I seriously do, you will have a ton of fun on a low powered bike. You don't need the most powerful bike on the streets to have fun. I need Phil Dirt. Who's Phil Dirt? I say all this as someone currently riding a leader bike and having a lot of fun with how fast it is, but just trust me on this, I promise you. Speeding, Santa sees you when you're speeding. So yeah, I don't think that the fact that you have modes on a leader bike, or that they're maybe more forgiving to someone less technically skilled these days than in the past, I don't think that really went into the Yamaha's decision on discontinuing the 600. Maybe it goes into your decision a little bit. I'm sure there's people who maybe are on a 300 or something else and they want a sport bike, and so now instead of getting that 600 they're buying a leader bike. But I think those people are the right ones, and we get more out of riding a leader bike on the streets than someone that was looking at a 600 hoping to start on it. Man, it is bright. It's that time of day where it's the sun's sitting right on the horizon. For all the inquiring minds who'd like to know, I started on a Suzuki SV650S in 2005, and I thought it was great. The top speed was like, I don't know, 125. It's fast. Like any bike with even a marginal amount of power is going to be able to do 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. And under 4 seconds on a bike is fast. You know, to a beginner rider, I promise you, it's no matter how fast you've gone in a car, it's going to feel fast. Now I hope with this video and what I've said so far that, you know, the beginner riders watching this, you don't go out and say, well, the leader bike is the one to get. He said it's easier to ride than a 600, and I was going to get a 600 anyway, so woohoo! I want to keep you safe, of course, but I also just want you guys to have fun, and I really think, I'm telling you, as a beginner, you're going to have a ton of fun on the bikes that are better suited to beginners. Lighter, yes, lower power, cheaper, but more fun. Now, I promised you guys that you would be able to see how these bikes match up against each other. So we're going to get that in just a minute here. I can definitely feel a significant difference in that top end pull, because I remember when I got this bike stock, the S1000 just felt so much faster. And it still does, but it doesn't feel as much faster as it did before. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, obviously I just do that in the whole video. I'm telling you guys not to get a leader bike, but I just hope that the people who are looking at a 600 now that Yamaha's discontinuing it, Honda discontinued it before, I don't want you to directly go to the leader bike. You know, even if you have a lot of experience riding, I think on the day-to-day, you know, go back and watch my first ride video on the street triple. I think that's the most fun bike that I've ever ridden. Of the bikes that have a good amount of power, that's the most fun bike that I've ever ridden. I just loved ripping that thing around the city because it's just so effortless. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you want to get any of my merch, you can get it at motonosity.com. If you enjoyed the video, if it helped you out, make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you are subscribed, or you are now subscribed, ring that bell so you guys get notified of all the videos when they go live. You guys have been awesome. I've been Motonosity. Remember, life's better with horsepower. Keep life live, and I will see you guys in the next video.